Hi, good morning, everyone. We will start at exactly 10 a.m. So, for our viewers from Facebook, TikTok, and Zoom, I'll start my discussion about the student pathway going to Canada at exactly 10 a.m. po. Thanks so much and have a great day, everyone. So, hi, good morning, everyone from Facebook, YouTube, from Facebook, TikTok, and Zoom. Let's start with our discussion about the student pathway. So, if anyone who's interested going to Canada as a student pathway, definitely this is your time to get knowledge from us for the processing of your student pathway. And of course, and before I start, to give you an idea, student pathway is one of the fastest pathway going to Canada. Average processing time is could take at least 1 to 3 months if you'll and 1 to 3 months or 3 to 6 months. It depends on how fast you collect your documents. And of course, my name is Reynel Del Rio, and I'm the client acquisition manager here at Roman Canadian Immigration Services. So, um, first, let me introduce our company. We're a registered Canadian immigration firm in BC, Canada, or in British Columbia, Canada. So yes, our main office is located in Canada. And of course, you can always check the legitimacy of our company through Canada Business Registry. Just type it to any search engine like Google, and you can always check our company. And of course, for our viewers here in TikTok, later I'll try to read all your queries here. So I see one people now. Sir, later I'll try to answer all your questions, sir. Thank you so much, sir. And as I mentioned, our location in Canada is 6057 Dumont Road, Nanaimo in British Columbia. That's our main office. And in the Philippines, we're located at City Sleep In Hotel and Event Center, JP Laurel Highway, Barangay Sicol, Lipa City here in Batangas. So for our clients that are located here in the Philippines, you can always visit us here at Lipa City, Batangas. But if you think it's far from your area, definitely we can meet through online. Okay. And of course, yeah, we have our own licensed immigration consultant. His name is Mr. Israel Roman. And his license identification number is R524540. And he's a licensed Canadian immigration consultant registered with the College of Immigration and Citizenship Consultancy, or the CICC. And of course, he's a practicing registered nurse in Canada as of the moment. Yes, he's residing in Canada, specifically in British Columbia. And before he moves to Canada, he used to work as a nursing professor here in the Philippines. Way back 2008, the pathway of our licensed immigration consultant is the nursing pathway po. And of course, and as you can see on your screen from our viewers from Facebook and Zoom, that's our current student that they're taking their co-op program in Nanaimo Regional General Hospital. And after their co-op program, the hospital will absorb them, or will become their employer. And I'm hoping sa mga viewers here in TikTok, in any platform, maybe one of you will become our international students flying to Canada. And of course, I know all of us have a different reasons why we choose Canada. Some of you have a relatives in Canada. Some is have a workmate that flew to Canada, and some of you wants to study and to migrate permanently. So I'll give you 3 reasons why you need to choose Canada as your education and employment. First reason is Canada is the home of the world's top academic institution and universities. Of course, if you have a chance to study in Canada, Canada can give you the best education. And of course, you can gain work experience setting them up for a promising future. I know all of us wants to give our family the best future. So definitely Canada can give it to you po. And of course, after completing your studies, you can work and may be eligible to apply for a permanent residency. So after you finish your study, you don't need to go back to your home country because you're allowed to work in Canada and may be eligible for a permanent residency status. And I know that's one of the reasons why we choose Canada po. And of course, and everyone who's commenting on our live. So later, I'll try to answer all your queries. Sir Ken Romario, as you mentioned, you need the work. So technically, I'm discussing about the student pathway. However, if you have a question later, I'll park it and I'll try to answer it all after my discussion for the student pathway. And of course, in Canada, we have three different intakes. Our first intake, we have the September intake, and that's the fall intake. We have the second intake, that's the winter intake, and the third intake, we have the summer intake po. So if you want to become an international student in Canada, you need to choose what school, what intake you are planning to go. Because that's the first thing to do, to look for a school, look for an intake, and look for your program. So it doesn't matter what intake you choose. It depends on the school na mapipili po natin. And of course, and for the student pathway, as I mentioned, the first thing you need to do is to look for a school. And we have several VIP partner school po. So if ever you want to show, you already have your chosen school and it's not our partner, it's not a problem with us because we can still communicate with your chosen school po. And of course, just to give you an idea, here is our VIP school partners. The first school is we have the Steinberg College, we have the Georgian College, we have the Fanshawe College, Coast Mountain, Niagara College, Durham College, Humber, Okanagan, Centennial College, Saskatchewan Polytechnic, Sheridan, and Selkirk College. So as I mentioned, as you heard on our live in TikTok, we have several partner schools in Canada. So you have lots of varieties. So you can choose from any school. But as I mentioned, if your chosen school is not our partner, that's not a problem. We can still communicate with your chosen schools. And of course, and in Canada, the International English Language Testing System, or the IELTS, is one of the requirement to become a permanent residency. To give you an idea, Roman Canadian Immigration Services is a proud partner of 9.09er IELTS Review and Tutorial Center, and we are the official test center here in our province, Batangas City. So if you want to take your IELTS, or the IELTS is requirement for your school, definitely, if you're near in our province here in Batangas, so we are the official test center. Actually, our office is located here nga in Tambo, Lipa City, and we are the official test center and the location of 9.09er Lipa City. So I have a question here for TikTok from Alvin. Mga ilang weeks bago po ma-approve ang LOA? So it depends on your school, sir. So but to give you an rough estimate for LOA, at least the list is 3 weeks. You can have your LOA na po. And of course, I'll proceed with my discussion. So yun, if you have any questions or clarification with regarding sa student pathway, just post it here on our live, and as I mentioned, I'll try to answer it all after my discussion po. And of course, for the student pathway, who are the eligible for this specific pathway? So at least high school graduate, or for the new curriculum, at least K-12 graduate po. Of course, it depends on the school requirements. If your program require you to, if your program requiring you to have at least 2 years in college, so definitely it depends on your schools and program. And of course, for the documentary requirement, we have the academic IELTS. But to give you an idea, in Canada, not all school is requiring you to get an IELTS. So better check the school first if they're requiring you to get an IELTS, or check the program first if you're required to take an IELTS. Because if the school didn't require you to get an IELTS, so definitely you can take pa rin, but if if you don't want, you have an option na saka na lang i-take siya if ever na you're applying for a permanent residency. Because as I mentioned, IELTS is one of the major requirement if ever you'll be applying for your permanent residency status in Canada. However, the validity of IELTS is only for 2 years. So that's why. And of course, we have the school records. So we have your, if you're high school or K-12 graduate, Form 137, and for the college, TOR, diploma, and if you have a training certificate, so you can put it on your portfolio. Uh-huh. And ayun, that's the school records na kailangan po natin for the student pathway. And of course, ayan, the one of the most important thing na we should know for the applying for the student pathway is the post-graduation work permit or the PGWP. I know some of you already have an idea what is PGWP about, but PGWP is you can apply for the PGWP upon the completion of your course, which enables you to work, enables you to stay in Canada and work for any employer without any restriction. So it means that if ever na you'll be taking a 1-year program in Canada, the PGWP or the working permit that Canada can offer you is valid for 1 year. So you can study in Canada for 1 year and you can work for 1 year. And of course, if you will study or choose a program and the length is 2 years, so the working permit that Canada can offer you is the 3 years PGWP or 3 years working permit. So you can stay in Canada up to 5 years. And as I mentioned, 1 year working in Canada, you're eligible to apply for a permanent residency. So, and everyone, if you have a questions or clarification, you can post it here in Facebook and in our Zoom po. So, I can address it properly. So, sige, I'll be waiting before proceeding with my next slide. If you have a question, so I can answer it so far. Hi, thank you for our viewers from TikTok. So everyone who's watching from TikTok, thanks so much. Please do follow our TikTok page, our Facebook page. So we are updated for our postings and happenings. If we have available positions that you're qualified, so you're updated. So please follow our TikTok, share and like our live today. Thank you so much for and I'll proceed with our next slide. So what is the process of Roman Canadian Immigration Services for the student pathway? The step one at first is we always have the free assessment. You will submit your detailed resume on us, and we will check if you're eligible on that specific pathway you're applying for. And after that, for the student pathway specifically, you need to choose a school and program. Why? We cannot proceed with the step 3 until you don't have a school and program. And of course, step 3, we have the program discussion. It's a one-on-one session between you and me, and I'll explain to you your chosen school and your chosen program. And of course, after that, if you don't have any questions, we will now proceed with the signing of service agreement. After the signing of service agreement, we have the step 5, that's our administration fee. You will need to settle the fee that you need. And of course, step 6, submission of required documents to your chosen school. So don't you worry, if ever that you'll be entering our service, we are the one who will collate your documents, and we have a document checklist for you. So you have a guide what documents you are need to submit from us. But don't you worry, we are the one who will communicate with your chosen schools po. And of course, with step 7, it's the issuance of offer letter from the school. So if we already submitted your documents to your chosen school, the school will give you an offer letter indicating How to pay your tuition fee? It depends if they're requiring you to pay 1 year or requiring you to at least pay down payment. So it depends on your chosen schools po. And of course, step 8, that's the settlement of your tuition fee. Or it depends, as I mentioned, if it's down payment or a whole year tuition fee. And of course, step 9 is issuance of letter of acceptance from the school. If ever we already settled our tuition fee on our chosen school, the school will now issue a letter of acceptance from your chosen school. So letter of acceptance is you already have a slot on that school and program po. And of course, step 10, that's the collation of immigration documents. So with regarding to immigration documents, we are the one who will collate your documents. We are the one who will assist you in your forms for your immigration documents. So you don't need to worry about it. And of course, step 11, we have the service fee. You'll need to settle our service fee. And after settling the service fee, we will now lodge your visa application. And after we lodge your visa application, we will wait for the approval of your visa. It's either any pathway. It's either student visa, tourist visa, working temporary foreign worker, and everything po. Is there a medical? Yes, ma'am, of course. You know, you need the medical if ever na you're going to Canada. The only pathway that is not requiring you to get a medical is the tourist visa. But in any pathway, yes, you need a medical po. If you're this to AVI, if you're located here in the Philippines, I know the St. Luke's is the St. Luke's and the St. Luke's in Makati, and we have other one in Baguio and Cebu. So sila lang yung tatlong available for medicals in Canada po. And of course, and I'll flip my camera here so you can see our assessment email. So you can send your detailed resume on us so we can assess if you're eligible on that specific pathway. Yan. Yan. As you can see on our viewers from TikTok, you can send your detailed resume at assessment@romancis.ca. So, ayun, I'll update you if ever you're interested to become a student pathway in Canada or in any pathway you want to. So, yan. I'll be flashing our emails from Facebook, TikToks, and Zoom. And you can send your detailed resume on us po. Yeah. So I'll flash this for 5 minutes so you can have your screenshot and save our emails. And we have a questions from TikTok, from Ate May. So part-time for international student, we cannot give you a part-time work, but you can have a part-time work. So to give you an idea, if you're an international student in Canada, you're allowed to work 20 hours in a week. So from Robbie Medical VA, how will the ongoing crisis on immigration affect my application? So currently, upon checking what's going on in immigration, for our onboarded clients, we don't have any problems so far. But currently, we're studying kung
ano nga ba yung possible problems and maka-affect sa application for yung nangyayaring crisis nga po in Canada. So, total show money po is, if ever na you're solo applicant, to give you an idea, the Immigration of Canada is only requiring you to have 10,000 Canadian dollar. However, we don't want to settle on that amount. Why? Because we need to prove in immigration in Canada that we can sustain our stay or being an international student in Canada. So at least prefer to be safe is 800,000 pesos or 20,000 Canadian dollar. So free assistance to enroll to school. Yes, ma'am. Just send your detailed resume to us and we will help you to look and enroll for your specific schools po. Accommodation to schools or outside schools. So for the accommodation to the schools and outside school, it depends on your school. Why? Because some of the schools, meron silang availables na mga dorms doon, but some schools ay hindi sila nag-cater ng ganun po. But outside school po, yes, definitely marami naman po tayong mahanap. But on that specific process po, you're the one na maghahanap po on your end po. Is it possible that first timer will get job? Of course, ma'am. If you can find for an employer, definitely. And if you're already in Canada, um, easy na po maghanap if ever na nandoon na tayo. Can you give us how to check the school university program? So for the checking of your schools, so actually you just go to Google and search for that specific program. However, on our part, we can help you to look for your schools and program for free. So just indicate on your email what specific location, what program in Canada you're interested in. Yeah, that's it. What location and what program? What's the possible program? So we can help you. Can you give me a free list of program in school from different province in Canada? Is it okay from hospitality and wanted to enroll healthcare programs? Yes, ma'am, it's okay. It won't be a problem. Why? Because you can even you don't have any background in medical fields, but you want to study health related fields, so definitely wala naman po magiging problema doon. So yes, ma'am, I can help you sa list ng schools and program, pero be specific kung anong province in Canada, ma'am. Kasi if ever nasabihin niyo sa akin na sobrang daming provinces in Canada. So kung ano yung talagang parang you're eyeing na province, sabihin niyo po sa akin, indicated on email na isasend nyo nga dito sa assessment@promancis.ca. I can help you to look for that specific schools po. Ayan. Do you assist on SOP? So we assist, but we are not the one who will create your SOP. Why? You should be the one who will create your SOP to make it more personalized po. But we have an assistant. We have a format of SOP. It depends on you if you will follow it or not po. And after graduation, automatic makakapag-work na. You will apply for the working permit or the PGWP. However, sa work po, kailangan maghanap po. But some schools po, nag-aano po sila, nag-offer po sila ng co-op program. So ano yung co-op program? It's like an OJT here in the Philippines. However, may bayad na kayo while you're taking your co-op program. Plus, the possible employer na pinag-workan nyo for co-op program will absorb you. So, ayun po siya, ma'am. So, how much study permit application? Ayan. For the study permit application here in our company, Our total fees lang po is, we have a promo actually. We have 1,000 Canadian dollar lang po. All in all na po yan. What's the best province for now? What is the best province city as of now? So it depends po talaga kung pipili tayo. Of course, yung maraming reasons kung bakit may mga napipili na silang province. The main reason is meron na silang relatives on that specific city or provinces po. So if ever naman kayo, wala talaga kayong kamag-anak na pupuntahan or wala kayong idea in province or city, it depends on the perspective talaga, ma'am. Pero kung ako, in Ontario, definitely yung cost of living niya is mas expensive compare sa provinces. However, sa Ontario naman kasi, sobrang daming work na available. On the province naman, actually marami ding available work for the provinces, pero hindi siya katulad ng availability ng Ontario na talagang marami din talaga. However nga, mahal nga lang yung cost of living on Ontario sa city, and sa province naman, may mga provinces na mahal din, pero may mga provinces na mura, like the NBCC, the New Brunswick. Ayan. Yung cost of living dyan is around, siguro in a month, your average for the house is 600 to 800 CAD. But in Ontario, it's 1,000 to 1,200. So it depends on your perspectives po. In-demand programs in Canada now, I'm at siguro mga healthcare, healthcare and hospitality, because yun nga nag-o-open na ulit yung yung tourism from all over the world. Hindi lang dito sa Canada, hindi lang sa Philippines, all over the world nag-o-open na yung tourism. And why healthcare? Kasi siyempre, due to pandemic, parang nakita ng mga country kung gaano kahalaga na merong mga healthcare professionals na available on their countries po. So healthcare and hospitality. For me, ma'am, so depende pa rin naman yan sa inyo. As I mentioned, pwede naman kayong mag-take ng any program na gusto niyo po. Any question pa po? Ayan, Ma'am May, send ka naman ng resume sa amin dito para ma-assess ko if you're eligible on that specific pathway na gusto niyo pa. Thank you, ma'am, for staying on our live. So any question po? So I can answer all your questions po. Can I ask about the fee? So our fee, as I mentioned a while ago, our student permit application fee is 1,000 Canadian dollar po. So it's around, you can do your conversion kung magkano yung conversion ng Canadian dollar kung kailan kayo magpapasok on our service po. How about the RNs? Anong program ang pwede nila applyan? So for the RNs naman, if you want to become a direct nurse in Canada, you can be a student pathway pa rin and take the post-graduation diploma in Canadian nursing program. However, if you don't want to become a student pathway, currently some provinces in Canada are open for the nurses for, I think it's a bridging program. You will take some course pa rin, and after you finish it, you passed it, pwede ka na mag-work as a registered nurse in Canada po. But direct pathway for nurses talaga as of the moment, wala pang open si Canada. Dati meron, however, nag-close pa siya We don't know kung kailan ulit mababalik siya, pero we're hoping this year mabalik na siya dahil may mga provinces na nag-o-open for it po. Hmm. Ayan. If ever na question from Facebook, anong format ng resume po namin? Or kung ipapasa nyo lang sa amin, yung normal na format lang po. Yung Canadian format resume is once na nasa Canada na kayo and you're looking for work na, that's the time na you should have your Canadian format resume. But if magpapasa pa lang naman po kayo sa amin, you're applying for it, yung normal na format lang po. I mean, wala naman, in the Philippines, wala naman tayong specific format for resume. So, kung anong format ng resume nyo, send nyo lang po sa akin. From webinar for EFW. Actually, ma'am, we don't have scheduled webinar for temporary foreign worker. But ayun, I can call you to discuss about it one-on-one. And then for RN, same fee for their bridging program. Actually, ma'am, we don't offer the bridging program talaga. So, but we have some friends from different company na it's a manning agency that they're offering the bridging program. That's the Andros Manpower Agency and the Staff House. If ever na you're familiar with them, yan, sila yung nag-offer ng direct pathway for nurses for the bridging program. Ayan. For the student pathway, Ma'am IC, the service cost namin, as I mentioned a while ago, is 1,000 Canadian dollar po. With your getting your LOA, getting your immigration forms, submitting your application through to IRCC and everything, it's 1,000 Canadian dollar po. But excluded po yung biometrics, medical of course, your plane ticket, and your accommodation. So automatic naman, it's a normal thing for the student pathway. Talagang excluded yung mga ganun po. With dependent po, if ever na you'll be a family application for your, let's say your partner, additional 1,000, and for your children, additional 500 CAD for processing po. So please do send your resume on our assessment at romancis.ca po. So I can check your resume po. Do you offer staggered payment for your services po ba? For the student pathway kasi ma'am, actually, I think we're the lowest here in our place, in our city, in Batangas, we're the lowest. However, if you want to, ayan nga, to pay in staggered payment, so I can do an arrangement with our team if mag-allowed sila ng gano'n. Pero technically ma'am, for the student pathway kasi namin, we're requiring you to pay 1,000 Canadian dollar na po before starting your process. However, as I mentioned, we can have our meetings naman. So we can schedule you for it. Then ipa-approve namin sa management if ever na papayag sila do'n. We're open for it naman. Around how much in peso? In peso po, as I mentioned, it's 1,000 Canadian dollar. However, it depends kung kailan kayo papasok sa amin kasi we're basing it on the conversion rate on that day. So if the dollar is 40, so around 40,000 in peso. However, depending nga siya sa conversion rate nung araw na yon. After graduation, you will process to our PGWP. Actually, ma'am, no, we are not the one who will process your PGWP, but it depends on you. If ever na you want to kami yung mag-process, we can do it. But on your end, talagang kayo na yung magpa-process po noon. A family of 3 is 2,500. How about po post-grad permit? So, sa PGWP po namin kung how much siya, ano ba? So, for PGWP, wala pa kaming estimate kung magkano yung fees namin for it. Kasi, to give you an idea, um, in yung office namin sa Canada, sila na yung nagpa-process nun. If ever gusto nyo pong magpa-process for it. Pero ito pa, isa pa. If ever yung mga current student kasi namin, to give you an idea, sila na yung nawawala on our services if ever nandun na sila. Why? Marami na sila napagtatanungan, how to process this, how to process that, and everything po. So, for the PGWP, siguro sooner or later baka sabihin niyo, ay sir, hindi ko na pala kailangan ng help niyo for it. Pero if you insist talaga na kami mag-process, I'll get back to you on that question. So I'll ask our company in Canada kung how much is their processing for PGW. Can I sponsor my mom adopted daughter whose age is 22? If sponsor for what, ma'am? If it's student pathway, yes, you can. But for yeah, for the student pathway, you can. So, requirements for sponsorship. So, if ever na, kung sino man po yung magiging sponsor natin, they need to provide your proof of, what do you call this, for a bank statement and bank certificate. And sponsorship letter po. Pwede po mag-sponsor ang family friend who is working sa US for study visa. Yes, kahit sino po ay pwedeng maging sponsor. Kahit friend niyo lang siya. As in kahit sino pwede po. Tourist visa po, do you offer? Yes, ma'am. I see. We process tourist visa. And yes po, we're processing tourist visa. And to give you an idea, meron kaming tourist visa na will be flying na ngayong May na. What do you mean, can you process sponsorship po? On our behalf, we will process the sponsorship, ma'am? If that's the case, no, ma'am, we cannot process the, we cannot be your sponsor. For the tourist visa, our fee is 600 Canadian dollar. And if you will bring your family, 600 each. And Ma'am Icy, may I ask, do you have a relatives in Canada na mag-i-invite sa inyo in Canada? Kaya kayo magto-tourist visa? Ayun. Kung meron po kayong kamag-anak, mas madali yun. Ano yung kakailanganin nyo? You need letter, invitation letter from your relatives po. For the requirements for the sponsorship letter from your sponsor, bank statement, and bank certificate of your sponsor, man. Actually, Ma'am IC, yung question, need return ticket kung tourist visa. If ever kasi walang invitation, that's the time na parang nagre-record agad sila ng inyong itinerary, your plane ticket pabalik, papuntahin pabalik. But if yun nga, as I mentioned, if you have a relative naman na parang magiging sponsor nyo, hindi naman nila nare-require yan. So any question pa po, in any pathway, don't you worry, I can answer it po. And just submit your dated resume po sa amin if you're interested on what specific pathway para at least we can discuss it to you privately, not in our live then. Pero however naman, if you have a question here, you can post it naman directly. So I'll be ending our live at 10:50 if you don't have any question from us. And should you want to book your one-on-one discussion with us, yan, just email us at assessment@romancis.ca. And Contact of office, and you can direct email us, ma'am. And you can follow us on our Facebook page, Roman Canadian Immigration Services, in TikTok, Roman and Associates Immigration, YouTube, we have Roman and Associates Immigration Services Limited, Instagram or CIS, the underscore 2019, and in LinkedIn, we are Roman and Associates Immigration Services Limited. Sir Ken Romario, I need to work in Canada. Sir, the first thing, if you want to work in Canada, you need an employer first that will offer you LEMIA application. Yeah. So I'll be ending our live, everyone. So thank you so much for attending our free webinar for the student pathway. And have a great day, everyone. And I hope to see you on our next live for our still student pathway pa rin po. And thank you so much for all the viewers here in TikTok, Facebook, and Zoom po. And have a great day. Bye-bye.